Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. I recently did a video on how to practice music effectively and it was really popular. So I decided to make another video giving you 3 more practice tips. And these tips can apply to any musician. So you could be a pianist, a string player, you could be a percussion player or a singer. Really, you could play any instrument and I am sure that you can use these tips in your practice session. I feel like the last tip is really important. If somebody were to ask me to only give them 1 tip for practicing music, I would probably mention the 3rd tip. So make sure to stay until the end of the video. So let's begin with the first tip, which is to learn a piece in small sections. I know that some people like to learn a piece from the beginning to the end, and I don't think that is the most effective way to practice. Instead, we can break down our piece into small chunks, which can be a few measures or a phrase or 2, and learn the piece in that way. We can make sure that we're playing the right notes, rhythms, we have a comfortable fingering, and there's no tension in our arms, etc. We can think about all of these types of things. So by learning in this way, we're only doing a little bit at a time, but it will still produce a better result in the end. My next piece of advice is to correct mistakes immediately after they happen. So I used to be the person that would make a mistake and then say, oh, I'll just fix that later. And of course, it never got fixed. Sometimes when we make a mistake, it's also tempting to start over again. So let's say we play a wrong note. Then we decide to start over from the beginning of that phrase in order to correct that note. But I think it's better to just take that little section where you had that mistake and just focus on that part and make sure you can play it smoothly. And then you can start over from the beginning of the phrase if you wish to do so. By doing this, you can make sure that these mistakes are getting fixed right away and you don't have to worry about them later. The last tip is to practice thoughtfully. So what we don't want to do in our practice session is to play a piece or a section of a piece over and over again without any reason. I used to play through my pieces from beginning to end, hoping that I would just magically improve by doing this. And often I realized that my mind was somewhere else. Maybe I was thinking of something else and I wasn't really concentrating on the piece of music. Sometimes I even played through a section and then I didn't really even know what happened. I didn't even know, oh, did I just play through that? What did I even do? So that is mindless practice and we don't want to do that. What we want to do is be mindful or thoughtful when we're practicing. So repetition is really good in practice if you're doing it thoughtfully. Thoughtful practice means that you're making the notes have a meaning. You're not just playing the notes. You are trying to bring the notes to life. So this could mean thinking of what the composer wanted or thinking of what you want. How do you want to express yourself? It could be thinking of the color of a piece. Maybe it needs some type of warm feeling to it. And in your practice session, you try and think of how to convey that through your playing. Thoughtful practice could be really emphasizing every single dynamic marking and maybe taking it at a slower tempo to make sure that you're interpreting every single thing that's written on the page. It could also be slow practice to observe certain gestures that you're making, or it could be thinking of having a light feeling to the piece. So these are all examples of thoughtful practice. Someone once told me to practice as if I were playing for a person and my performance was the last performance that that person would ever hear in their life. Which, first of all, when I first heard this, I was like, wow, that's a little bit dramatic. But thinking in this way can really help us realize the small details in a piece and be really mindful of what we're doing. So that is all the tips I have for you today. I hope this helped. And if you have any of your own tips, feel free to comment down below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!